Good morning.
Hey guys, Monique Bradley here.
And Pete Ward here from Your Fix Communications. This is the Dog and Pony Show, a business podcast coming to you weekly. And sometimes more than weekly.
Yeah, more than this, 3 times weekly.
Yes, absolutely. This is us.
Yeah, welcome to the studio. This is an exciting topic today. A lot of people have been commenting or on things we're doing or messaging us going, this is all great. I love the education you guys are sharing, but I don't even know how to get started or where to get started online. So that's really what we're talking about today. Is that right, Pete?
It is. Yep. What to do next.
Cool.
Okay, so you're excited.
I like that.
You've gone, I'm going to do it. I'm going to dive in. I'm ready to go. What do we do? What's the first things we do?
What's
so
the
we've
next
come up.
step?
Yep, we've come up with three things.
That you can do?
Two things and a question.
We like
That's
questions.
Right. Absolutely.
Speaking of which, as we're going through the show today, if you have any questions at all, feel free to share them in the newsfeed. We can see what's going on. If you're watching this not live but on demand, you can still send questions through. We get notifications every time you ask a question. We're happy to answer your questions and help wherever possible. Right, so let's talk about today's topic, getting started online. This is such a good one because a lot of people are telling me, they've got to transition their business from offline to online right now, and they're not kind of sure how to get started with that. It's kind of the same. It's just you're using a different avenue of communication to connect with people or to share the offers that you have, or if you're in consulting of whatever, whether you're a personal coach or a business coach or whatever you do, health consultant, food expert, you're just doing it instead of in real life through the medium of digital communication. So there shouldn't be a huge amount of transition. It's still kind of the same stuff you're doing, but there's a few different technicalities to get yourself out there in this way. Pete, your thoughts around that?
Yes, but first of all, I just want to back up a little bit and extend our heartfeltness.
Yeah, good
for
point.
this situation at the moment. It is the reason we're doing these podcasts is a very sad reason in that sense.
Good point.
I just wanted to acknowledge that there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that we would not want to be going on. But having said that, there is an absolute opportunity here for people who can adapt and make a difference in their world. So this is your chance to step up. If you are that person, you can start to do that. So now the question was from Monique.
Yeah, the question is getting started online. Let's just dive straight into it.
Okay, well, yeah, let's just go for it. Number one on the list is do a brand review first. Before you jump in, just before you leap, do a brand review. Monique's going to talk about what that's all about. Yeah,
this is the first part of the process when we work with clients, is we sit there and we have a list of about 100 questions that we ask in our first sort of overview session with a client and their brand. We need to know some really important things. First of all, who you really are. It may sound like such a simple question, but when we get to the core of who you are, the essence of who you are, as a marketing partner, which is what we do for a lot of brands and companies, being able to deliver the essence of who you are creates a space for authenticity, for real conversations. It means that people find an easier way to connect with you. As an example, I know exactly who I am. I can't even use a spreadsheet, to be fair. I'm not technologically minded, but I've learnt to use technology in a way that supports my gift, which is my ability to talk, to speak to others, to hopefully inspire other people that anything is possible, that there's always opportunities. That's kind of what my gift is. So the first thing we do is get to the core of who you are. We use profiling tools to do that. If you want to know what those profiling tools are, please just message me and I'll send you a link for that. So that's kind of where we start. Then one of the things that Pete and I look at, because we have two very different divisions to our business, aside from the fact that Pete has a huge background in IT. He pioneered online learning in New Zealand. He has such a genius brain for all of that stuff. Aside from all of that, and aside from what I bring to the party, which is about storytelling, about content creation, about engagement, about meaningful connections in digital, aside from all that, you work on something very different from me when we work with clients, right? So do you want to tell everybody about what you really focus on during those sessions?
Absolutely. So I focus on listening to you and working out, helping you to gain clarity and figuring out the value that you actually have to give. So before you can do anything about giving it to people, you need to work out that actual value so that you know 100% what it is. So we come up, and often it's with a branding statement that we come up with, or an I statement that I, give the clarity
insert
to,
link here.
Insert here, but
Yeah.
and my own one, you can look on LinkedIn and find out what my one is, but essentially it's around gaining clarity and helping you transform and grow. So I know the value I can give to a business. And then Monique takes over from there, and she'll share the value she gives.
My value statement in LinkedIn. Oh, am I still there? Yes, I am. I think my headset just popped out. My value statement on LinkedIn is really about helping business owners and entrepreneurs. So I've really clarified who I want to work with, helping business owners and entrepreneurs gain greater impact in the digital world. And there's a whole bunch of ways that I help people do that in the work that I do. You're good?
Yep.
And so through that process, one of the things I specifically work on is looking, especially having trained as an actor, my job is to hop into, oh, that's better, thanks, Pete.
Got it.
My job is to hop into the shoes or the skin even of a brand's ideal client and to understand what their needs are, then to create a content schedule around giving, from the brand's perspective, giving those people what they need. Because when you give the people what they need, what they're looking for, when they can find that you are the one who is the thought leader, or you're the one, this brand is the expert in whatever field they're an expert in, it builds trust. They keep coming back. Once they're in that trust stage of the sales funnel process, they are then more easily led to a conversion. And that conversion, which some people will call a sale, could be signing up to a mailing list. It could be buying an actual product. It could be signing up to a coaching package. It could be to link here to watch this free video or download this audio track, whatever that conversion is. So that's kind of what I do. I look at the bait that your ideal client looks for. So Pete works on the value a brand can give. I work on what the ideal client is looking for, and that all stems from the top, which is understanding who you are, what you're here to do, what you're here to give.
Awesome. Cool. That's really, really good way of explaining it.
Thanks, Pete.
There, Monique. And just to add into that first note, as you've just popped in, we're doing a two-step two steps in a question. Do a brand review was the first step. Okay, very first thing before we jump in. Okay, and I just want to add, make sure everything you're talking about on your social media channels or the way you've set it up, your about page on Facebook, all of that, make sure it's current. Right. So you might have written it 3 years ago. Is it the reflection of what you're actually trying to achieve right now today? It's very, very, very important, because if you did write it 3 years ago, it is time to whip through and update it. Maybe update your LinkedIn status, update your about page on your Facebook. I think they get forgotten. There is an about page in YouTube as well. There's a little tab there you can go to. Make sure you've got something in there that actually explains what your channel is all about. And certainly your Instagram bio, make sure that that's up to date. You know, if you're now doing vegan recipes and you weren't a vegan 3 years ago when you first wrote your bio, make sure you update it to reflect exactly where you're up to.
Look, okay? I could not agree with you there more, because remember too, when somebody's coming to any one of your profiles in social media, they're looking at that information as well. They want to know what you stand for and the value that they're going to get from you if they're going to invest their time with you. Also, it's important too that when somebody recommends you to somebody else, you know, saying, oh, you need to follow this person on Instagram, or you need to connect with them on LinkedIn, there has to be a reason why. The best marketing in the world is not the message you're trying to share, but it's when other people are recommending you, and you have to give them something to be able to recommend you for. A great example, on my personal blog page, which is Monique Bradley Finding Happy on Facebook, I've talked at great length about my weight loss and wellness journey. A lovely friend of mine, Alison Leonard, who's a radio announcer for The Breeze, shout out to you, Ellie, we love you. She went in to do a voiceover for a company and was with her agent. And her agent said, oh, what are you up to later today? And she said, I'm going to go and see my friend Monique Bradley. And her agent, who doesn't know me, who I've never met, said, oh, is that the woman who's lost over 40 kilos? I follow her on Facebook. Huh. So always have out there and have it current what you want to be known for, because people talk. So
Absolutely.
make sure they're talking about the right thing.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. Very good point. Make sure they're talking about the right thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, now that leads us on to the question. The question we always get asked is, what platform should I be on?
Oh, that's such a good one.
Monique's going to take this question.
Oh, really?
You love it.
Yeah. Well, no, but it starts with your theory around fish and bait.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, good
Let's
point.
start-
Okay,
let's
I'll
start
start
there.
there, radio. So I believe that your website should be the center of everything you're doing. We like to think of that as a boat, and social media platforms are places to go fishing for the fish, and the fish are obviously the people that are on there. They're your potential customers. You want to hook them and get them onto your boat where you can gut them and take them back home and fry them up.
It's so barbaric, isn't it?
Or smoke it or something, I don't know. Smoked fresh snapper. Oh, yes. So anyway, so what you're doing is you're looking for the fish. So the first thing you've got to do is actually think like a fish. And think, I am a fish. Where do I go? And what do I want to eat? What is the bait? And then you can start going, okay, cool. I've got the bait. Let's get it out there onto all of these different things. And just remember that the fish are in different places at different times of the day. They're eating different food. They're doing different things. Some of them are the same fish in different places. Some of them are completely different fish, and they'll never ever go to those other places. So it's up to you to decide what fish you're trying to catch first. And then Monique will help you decide what platform you should be on based on where your fish are, not where you want to be, not where you think you've got a really good thing to do on Instagram. If your fish ain't there, you're wasting your time.
Absolutely, I would 100% agree. Sometimes, depending on who you really need to start with understanding who your ideal client is. If you are trying to attract people who are business focused and business minded, people looking at investing higher amounts of money, you have to have a strong presence in LinkedIn, and you have to be helpful. LinkedIn is primarily about thought leadership. It's about connections. It's about authentic and meaningful connections that are helpful. Being strong in that space is not about flogging product, not in the slightest. It's about building yourself, building your presence, and building the perception of the value of your company or the company that you work for. There's lots of different strategies around that. And if you, at the end of this broadcast, we're going to share a link with you that will give you it's a free download you can get, some top tips around what to do on LinkedIn. In fact, I think Pete's going to bring up the screen now. He's got a screen right there, and we're going to show you, at the end of this, we'll share the link to, is a free LinkedIn worksheet with the top 3 tips that we recommend, top 3 things you can change in your profile immediately to increase profile views. Why do you want to do that? Everybody in LinkedIn wants to be seen. They want to be recognized as a thought leader or a professional in their area. LinkedIn has a great functionality for messenger, like chat, but it's a whole different ball game. You don't go on there to hook up with people, as an example, which is what Facebook was set up for. Rating and dating was what Facebook was initially set up for. It really is about building meaningful communications with like-minded people. And I read data somewhere that states that anybody who's looking at investing over 100K, 80% of their research is done through LinkedIn and through their connections. So building a strong network of connections, linking to influential people who could be relevant for your business in the future, because this isn't just about what we're going through now. This is about future-proofing you and your business as well. That's a great place to start. However, you're not necessarily going to get lots of product leads there. If you're selling product, so your ideal client is the consumer, the end consumer, you want to focus on LinkedIn and on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the platforms for you. Even if your ideal client might be mums, you want to grow a big following, as an example, in Pinterest, because they love to create these beautiful boards. You can connect with them. You can showcase in your own beautiful boards. It's a place of collectivity. So LinkedIn is about connectivity for business people. Facebook is about connectivity, but for a different reason. People normally go to Facebook to escape. They go for entertainment. Yes, they'll go for education as well, but they go for escape. So give them stuff in LinkedIn that's going to make their lives a little more fun or a little easier. because that's why they're on there, to be absolutely honest.
Absolutely.
And it's the same with Instagram. Instagram is about showcasing beautiful things, a great place to sell products. Still can be they're both great platforms for building community. That's what they're great for. But different methodology. It's like thinking that LinkedIn, and we've talked about this during training, LinkedIn is your big game fish.
Yep.
Because you got a bigger dollar investment. Whereas your Instagram, your Facebook followers might be sort of a bit more mid-funnel. So they might be like your Snapper. And your Instagram are usually fast-moving consumer products. That's a great platform for that. Lower price point products that have lower risk. So anything under $50 sells really well in Instagram. Those are more your guppies and your tiddlers. That's the best way I could describe it from my experience.
Yep. So my thoughts on this is, I'm just going to do a quick recap. We are talking about making a greater digital impact. You've decided you want to get online and help change your business model around in these trying times. Well, we're helping you with that. The first thing is, number one was do a brand review. Make sure you are standing for what you want the world to know you stand for. Number two was our question there, what platforms do I use? So we're talking about that. And then we've got number three coming up very soon. But first of all, I just want to talk about Instagram at the moment, IGTV. I think it's 8-minute long videos.
8-minute long videos.
Okay, so if you can do video content there in less than 8 minutes, you can help people with it at the moment. If you're an influencer, get on IGTV because that's what's happening at the moment. Jump on the bandwagon. TikTok, obviously, get on there too. Share everything, and that leads us on to...
Can I just come back to that really quickly? So a lot of people are messaging me going, should I be using TikTok? Again, that's another platform for escape. Make it fun. So build trust and build connection with your ideal client through fun. That's my tip. Even people like Gary Vaynerchuk are using TikTok. Like lots of world leaders are using it. J-Lo, because she wants to give people a snapshot, a more three-dimensional picture of who she is. But it depends on your brand. So somebody I was speaking to who's an influencer in fashion and food said, I'm not really sure about it. I said, well, if you don't want to share fun stuff, don't do it because it will be off-brand for you. So really understanding those branding guidelines is really important. Hi, Bevan. Good morning to you, and thank you for your kind comment there. Cool. Okay.
So it leads on to the third one, which kind of ties in with what Monique is saying, is create content.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where we're up to right now, is we've gone through the brand review. We've decided what platform now you're on to creating the content. So this is the time to be helpful. This is the time to start with brand awareness and engagement. Don't worry about conversions just now because you're just starting out. You're not going to get conversions straight away. You've got to build your brand first by giving away content that's helpful, which is where I was leading to with the IGTV. If you've got recipes right now that people can do stuck in their own home because they can't get out for 14 days, if you're following the situation and you know what's going on, then you'll know that a lot of people with families are going to be stuck there. So we have a friend called Chef Kevin Blakeman who popped into our kitchen the other day with Monique Bradley, and he came up with a video content on how easy it is to make your own pasta. And here it is here. Here's his Facebook page. Just talks there about, if you're there stuck at home with your kids, it only takes 90 seconds to cook. So, really good. It freezes awesomely.
Yeah, it was great.
Absolutely fantastic. Great fun we had making that. I produced it. Monique's there, obviously, with Chef Kevin. Chef Kevin Blakeman. You see up the top there, facebook.com/Chef Kevin Blakeman. You must go there. It's a fantastic recipe. So what we're doing there, it's a 20-minute long, so we went a little bit longer, and we're giving you the opportunity to step right through the process. He gives you lots of tips and tricks. Now, that video...
I'm just going to check how many views
how
we've
many
had.
views it's had.
So that was launched on Friday evening, and it got a heap of shares. So what that tells me is that people are stuck at home and they're trying to kind of cope with it. And I have to tell you, making pasta is incredibly therapeutic. We have had, if I just open it up now, we've had over 6,000 views, which is fantastic news, and it's had 27 shares.
Great.
So that tells me a lot about the bait that our ideal client is looking for. We've had thousands and thousands of people reached, which is brilliant.
Okay, so you can see I just popped that up. You've got 9,150 reached on Kevin's page alone. We cross-posted it across different channels, so that will gain audiences all over the place. So that's what we're about, showing you how simple and easy it is to think about something that you can offer right now to people that is helpful. So the reason we're doing the reason we're doing it is to be helpful and grow the brand of Chef Kevin Blakeman and get engagement. But afterwards, when we get a chance, when Chef Kevin has got something he's going to be offering as a sale, you can retarget every single one of those video views. Anyone who watched that video, you can set up a series of Facebook ads to target them, which is your conversion stage. So we're doing this for brand awareness and engagement, and then later on we can convert people once everyone is back out of their homes and having meetings.
Hopefully getting back
things,
to normal life.
then you can. So Chef Kevin is a chef that goes to private dining chef. I was trying to think of it in my head, so I looked at you. So not a lot of private dining going on at the moment, but when it's time, everyone who's been helped by that video can be targeted later on.
Another great example of the same thing, we're working with some amazing people, international mind power coaches and personal transformation coaches, and one of the strategies we're using with them is exactly the same thing. We gave them a structure, and they've created the most incredible podcast, which will launch shortly for you guys too, which is all about how to cope with the stress and the anxiety of what's going on in life right now, and a really simple technique to really calm yourself down in those moments where you feel like everything's out of control. So they've created this 20-minute very, very helpful podcast, and it talks you through the steps of fight and flight and what actually happens in the brain when we have all the stress going on. And that for them, once you listen to it, it will actually take you to a link with a free, I guess you could say a free hypno track to help you calm the farm. And it really is, the content is brilliant. They don't want anything right now other than to be able to help people. And being helpful at this time is one of the best things that we globally can do for each other. And then in the future, when we go back to, hopefully back to normal, that for them will turn into new clients. But yeah, that whole thing of building trust, giving without expectation, but giving, building trust and being helpful. There could be no greater time in history of our lives that's more important than right now.
That's true.
Deb Shackle just hopped on board and said, hello, just come on, great tips so far. Hey, you're in a great part of the process because you're, Deb, you're just working in that space of actually defining your brand identity, what you stand for, and how you can help others. So congratulations on embarking on the journey.
It's great. It's great.
Right.
All right. So that's basically it.
For today?
For today. So we are talking, just to recap, we're talking about making a great digital impact. What do I do to get started? So you've decided you're going to get in, you're going to do it. Number one was do a brand review.
Look at all your platforms, look at the message you're telling people. Because remember, it's not just what you tell people, it's also what other people say about you when they're recommending your page or recommending your profile as one to be followed. Make sure you've got the right messaging on there, and that you know, which is what Pete talks about, the value that you have and the value you stand for. And then from my perspective, the value that you give to make somebody's life better.
Great. Number two is, what platforms should I be on? You've got to learn to think like a fish. You're trying to catch them. You're trying to bait them. Think about the bait. Think about where they are. That's the platform you should be on, not the one you want to be, but the one that your fish are on. So learn how to stalk your fish.
Yeah, that's right. Flip your thinking. It's not about just what you want to share. It's what your ideal client needs.
That's right. And number three is create content that is valuable, helpful, and give it away for free at the moment, because you will get a chance to capitalize on that later. But do everything you can to get your brand out there and engage with people at this stage.
Absolutely. Be helpful. Give wholeheartedly. You'll build a greater level of trust with your ideal client, one that is more meaningful, and it's those people in the future who will become your clients, and they'll love you for it.
Yep. They might organically up on, or you can run paid advertising later on to target those audiences that, say for example, watched a video How many video views did you say Kevin had?
Oh, it's well over 6,000.
6,000. Okay, so there's 6,000 people. I can put it in audience right now. Then target with a lookalike audience of people that look like them on Facebook. Probably about, I don't know, 15 to 30,000 people that I could target with a video, with an ad, just from that video alone. So,
Gabrielle just said, "Love your work," and put some fish in there. Well, Gabrielle, you're a prime person to actually do a masterclass with Pete on Facebook ads.
Yeah.
I think understanding the back end, because like I don't go near Facebook advertising. It's way above my head, but your brain works that way, and I think you'd be fantastic in that masterclass. So
amazing.
in fact, if there is stuff you guys want to learn, that's really what we're here to do. We're producing a whole lot of tools to help make life a little bit easier for anything that you might not understand in the digital world. And in fact, Pete, if you want to bring up that screen that shows people what's on offer, you can see there we've got some LinkedIn profile tips and downloads. I've also written a blog about turning big picture thinking into action steps. There's free downloads there that you can use that we've created. It's on the yourfixcommunications.com website.
Yep, you can see the URL there at the top. But if you get lost, just go to yourfixcommunications.com, and there's a link there that takes you through to all courses. But we'll obviously put the link into any of these videos, so you can get there and go there, download that. You can see, go just access your download, click that, it'll take you through. If you're not registered on the site, it'll just ask you to register and pop your username and password in there and email address, and then you'll be away. The bonus is that when you get there and you've logged in there, to get your downloads, it's 20 tips to be able to take your LinkedIn profile up to all-star status.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And then we have a video there with three steps you must do right now to make yourself stand out on LinkedIn. So there's 3 things that you can change right now in LinkedIn So how many? Explain the searches. Explain.
Oh, so how when I was testing out the methodology around it, because LinkedIn wasn't. I used to do a lot. I was always about B2C, less than B2B. And over the last few years, I did a lot of study. I've done qualifications in digital communication to make sure I actually walk the talk and know that what I'm teaching people is correct. And I would get previously about 6 profile views a month on LinkedIn. And then I was delivering a training on LinkedIn after I'd learnt more, and I'd spent a lot of time learning about the different areas within LinkedIn and had started delivering training to help other people. And then I noticed in a very short amount of time that my profile views had gone from 6 a month to 300 every 24 hours. So that's quite a lot of traffic, and my network has grown exponentially fast, and that's what I want. And it's not just those people in the network that I'm selling to or trying to kind of, what's the word, coerce into becoming a client. It's their networks as well. So grow your network big. The download and the video will teach you a whole lot of stuff about it, stuff you can do right now.
Awesome.
There you go.
Alrighty. Okay.
You can
everyone,
do it.
Stay safe. Look after yourselves. Probably stay at home and get your digital business cranked.
Yeah. And if you need a hand or any help, you know where we are. Send us a message and we can set you in the right direction.
Cool. Okay.
Hey, thanks, Pete.
Alrighty. Thanks, Monique.
See you guys next time.
See you. Bye.